Hey everybody, it's so great to have you with us here on another edition of Friedman Adventures. It's a special podcast. We're talking about giant yellowfin tuna in Puerto Vallarta, and we've got a couple of great guests here. Ricky Carbajal, it's great to see you, my friend.
Nice to be here, Phil.
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
It's been a long time, man.
Absolutely.
Back in the Marina Del Rey days when my kids were in diapers.
That's right.
And you know what? We're not kidding, Chris. And Chris, it's great to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you.
What's your last name, Chris?
Isaac.
Chris, Isaac, you guys are partners in the new boat, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, back to the diaper thing. Patrick was literally in diapers, wasn't
He
he?
was in diapers playing in the bait tank with
Oh my God, you
the
remember.
few live sardines we had. Absolutely.
Yeah.
PKR, remember that day, clearly.
Well, let's talk about you before we get into Puerto Vallarta and the new boat. And, we had to name the boat contest. That turned out really bitchin'.
Awesome.
There was hundreds of people that participated.
There was a lot of good names.
There
we
was.
sat down
Yeah.
and we
It was pretty
contemplated.
I know.
It was
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. Before we do, though, I guess we should talk to both you guys about your history. First of all, you, Ricky, you ran out of Marina Del Rey for years, didn't you?
Yes, I started there as a deckhand back in '93, and I worked for Rick Ofinger on several of his boats. Worked for him for almost 15 years, and finally in 2007, when I had, obviously three young kids, I realized I got to put these kids through college, and being a operator and not so much an owner, it'd be a tough task. So I moved on to Salt Lake City, and things have been good, and I'm back here.
How's life in Salt Lake
It's
City?
great.
Is
It's
it?
good. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I got to
been
come
good.
visit you someday
Jealous.
there. Yeah, are you?
Yes.
I'm very jealous.
What are
comes
you
out.
jealous for, Chris? You're in
love
Marina
it
Del
over
Rey.
there.
Everybody wants to live there. How is it? And what's your history in sport fishing?
I started pinheading out of Marina Del Rey too on the New Del Mar.
For Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his nephews.
Yeah.
Rick, what's his name? Robert.
Robert.
Robert Carbajal was the one that got me in on pinheading on the boat. He
Yeah.
said, hey, get on the boat. When I used to buy bait to go fish at Venice Pier.
And in case somebody out there doesn't know what a pinhead is, that's you do all the crap work on the boat for free,
You
right?
get to fish for free.
That's right. And
Yeah.
you feel like you've gone to heaven too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It
And you
sounds
get
like
a
a bad
cheeseburger.
deal to a
Yeah.
lot of people, but it's a great deal.
You get a
Oh, yeah.
cheeseburger out of it at the end of the day.
What's
That's
it-
great.
That's a,
And
what
it
a
keeps
deal, man.
you out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was on the boat from 6 in the morning to twilight, or sometimes even go squid fishing after that, so stayed on the boat for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
all my days. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then did you get a captain's license eventually?
Yeah, I got my captain's license. I started driving the New Del Mar at night, couple trips at night, twilight fishing.
Yeah.
And then I started my own business, same thing,
You guys figured out that sport fishing wasn't going to do it.
yeah. And then
And now you get back into sport fishing.
yeah, we're getting back into
We got it in your blood.
I've always wanted to own a sport fishing boat, and we got, I got the opportunity to partner up with Rick. It's not something easy to just buy a boat.
No,
or
but
find
this.
someone to partner up to.
So this boat. Let's talk about the boat for a second. I've only seen photos of it, but
Sure.
man, it looks like it's spacious. And you two guys are not going to spare any expense with regard to sonars and air conditioning and all the comforts and more about the fishing, bigger bait tanks, all of that stuff.
Obviously, yeah.
It looks great. Tell us about the boat a little bit, either one of you guys.
So we wanted a low maintenance boat, and this one out of all boats is what's called a true Delta, meaning it started at Delta Marine and it was ended in Delta Marine. A lot of these so-called deltas, they would just buy the hull and then they would ship the hull somewhere else, and they would pretty much plywood up the rest of the boat, which is fine. But this is a true Delta, and there's not many of them around here. A lot of them are mainly in the Northern California, Oregon, and even out as far as Alaska. But as far as the boat, it's a beautiful boat. It's obviously not set up for what we want to do, but after we do the upgrades, it's going to be a beautiful boat with what we have in store for it. And Chris is the one that found it, and we pretty much jumped on it. And he can,
Right on. And when you found it, Chris, were you thinking Puerto Vallarta? Were you guys looking for that, or you just found a boat
Yeah.
and you go, man, this thing's bitching?
Yeah, when I went up to, I went to visit Rick Carbajal in Salt Lake because I went fly fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I met up with him, and we talked about it. Hey, we're gonna get into business. Let's buy a boat and ship it to Puerto Vallarta. And the whole time since I left, I was on the internet just
Oh,
sending
you-
them.
Yeah.
That was
sending
in your
him
head,
pictures.
huh?
I'm like, if I'm gonna become partners, I'm the type of guy that likes to move quick. you
Yeah.
know? And
Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got an email, hey, new boat, up for sale. And I was like, I sent it to him right away. And of course, we both, some people, when you're in business, what's going to work.
Yeah.
Me and him,
Yeah, definitely.
And this one looks like it's going to work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in good shape. It's a fast boat, too.
What's it do?
I believe 2,100 RPMs. He does around 14 knots, right?
14
Shoot,
and a
that'll
half.
move you down
14
there,
and a
huh?
half, yeah.
He bumped it up. We got as far as 22. We got up as 22
wow.
knots. It was like being on a skiff. We're like, whoa.
Oh, that's
We're
bitchin'.
not used to that.
Yeah, we're not used to that.
That is so cool. And the islands that you fish down in Puerto Vallarta, how long of a run is that mileage-wise?
I don't know exactly the mileage, but I think it's just under 70 miles.
Oh, shoot, that's
And
nothing.
there's a lot of coastal fishing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a lot of area, a lot of open water fishery that can produce some big fish.
Yeah,
So-
and Puerto Vallarta, I mean, we're going to talk about something, the 5,000-pound elephant in the room in a second, but Puerto Vallarta is so great. It's in the state of Jalisco.
Correct.
You got the Sierra Madre Mountains. You got that cobblestone inner city area with the Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe Iglesia, beautiful old historic church. You just walk into the thing and you can feel the history. And there's stuff to do for families down there. There's water sports. There's great food. There's Mexican hospitality. There's
Correct.
all of that. So the reason I bring all this up is that not only can you go on a fishing trip, but you can enjoy that part of it also. And you can bring your family down with you. You go fishing, they get to experience all the great stuff in Puerto Vallarta. If you're into nightlife, there's a great nightlife
Correct.
scene down there and the whole thing. I mean, what a destination to go fishing.
It's a destination.
Beautiful over there. I mean, and the best part is that our family's from there.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have
both of you
family
guys?
over
Yes,
there.
that's-
Oh, how cool.
Yeah, so we have a lot of family in Jalisco.
Yeah.
Born.
You guys are lucky.
Both my parents were born in Jalisco, about 4.5 hours east of Puerto Vallarta. We have a house down there, so it'll be nice to be able to.
Man, you're
Go
never
home.
going to get rid of me once I go down there.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to have you there.
Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Chris. I can't wait. I love going to Mexico. But we have people out there listening, and here's the 5,000-pound elephant in the room. Oh, my God, it's so dangerous in Mexico. I just went to Tijuana the other night. Actually, I went to Rosarito for a meeting, and then there was this place called Telefonica, which is the old telephone company in TJ. And they gutted it, and they turned it into a food court. And I've got friends, Mexicanos and gringos. You got to go, man. You got to go. So I decided to go. And I went with a guy. I mean, his wife was calling every 30 seconds. Hey, have you gotten your heads cut off yet? No, yeah, we'll let you know when that happens. And I'm having another chicken wing. Can we call you back? I'm being a little facetious, but there is a fear about going to Mexico. I've been going for 55 years, and I've never had a problem. I will tell you this, and I just want to get your input in a second. If you want trouble, you can find it in Mexico. You can find it in Los Angeles. You can find it in New York, Chicago. You can find it in Paris. You can find it in Shanghai, Hanoi. I've traveled all of these places.
Absolutely.
If you don't want trouble
agree.
and you stay out of those kinds of areas, and we don't need to go into what kind. I mean, people are smart enough.
We know.
You're going to have a great time, and
Absolutely.
all you're going to do is run into some of the most gracious, humble, giving people on the face of the earth, the Mexican people. I've got a corazon that's Mexicano, man. I got a Mexican heart. Everybody tells me that. Some
Yeah.
people say, you're more Mexican than I am. I got Nuestra Senora de Guadalupe in my wallet and everything.
That's right.
They're
So,
nice people. They're
Can
nice
you
people.
address the safety thing for anybody? And you know what? At the same time, I get it, because if you listen to the news media sometimes, they'll scare the hell out of you. I get why there's people who are nervous, and that's why I want to address it. And then, when I walked across the border, I walked in last time, there's the guy with the big gun and everything. I'm so used to it that now, hey, buenos dias, how's it going? But can you guys address that it's perfectly safe in Mexico? There's nothing to worry about.
Well, the first thing you have to understand that we're only 5 minutes from the airport, so you're going to get picked up. You're going to get dropped off on the boat. If you choose to make it a longer trip, you're obviously going to have accommodations they'll pick you up and drop you off. But you're 5 minutes away from the dock, so there's no concerns on that issue.
Right.
And like you said, look, if you want trouble, it's out there.
Yeah.
But if you're going fishing with us, you're going to be on the boat, and you get off the boat and you stay at a resort or overnight, you're perfectly fine. There's going to be no issues. It's if you wander off to the dark alley, that's where you're going to have some trouble.
Right.
But we're 5 minutes away from the airport, and it's going to be very simple and very safe.
And Chris, if you do want to go out for the nightlife and hit a restaurant and go to the iglesia, the church, you're going to have a great, safe time.
And everybody treats you very well. I mean, they're very nice people. I've been over there a couple times, 3 times, and I can't believe the way they treat you over there. It's very, they take care of you really good. They're nice people. A couple of nice restaurants. They're just trying to make a living.
They're beyond nice. They're beyond. We got a flat.
Good food, good drinks.
Oh my God, yeah, so good, the food. We got a flat tire once in Baja. My wife Ruth from Costa Rica looked at me and she goes, she knows me, so she's like, "You don't know how to change a tire, do you?" And I go, "Oh, what are you kidding? Watch me." I walk out of the car. "Hey, excuse me." Guy going on a bike. I go, "Could you please?" "Oh, sure." Got to fix that tire. Loaded him up with 976 tuna shirts and give him some money. And he was doing somersaults. So I know exactly how to change a tire. I'm an expert at it. All right, so good. We got all that out of the way. Now let's talk. Who's going to run this rig down there, and what kind of experience does he have? Who is running the boat?
Well, I don't know if many of you know, but I'm part owner of the Apollo, and on the Apollo we have Jay Cruz currently working on the boat, and he's got about 10 years experience in Puerto Vallarta. He's actually from Puerto Vallarta. He's actually going to be a part owner on this vessel, so we're going to have Jay running the boat, and a lot of people fish with him on the Apollo. His best day was, I believe, 6 fish over 300 pounds.
Whoa!
And the good thing about Jay is, not only is he local out of Puerto Vallarta, but he's well connected with the people. And when I say connected, I don't mean like the cartel. He's connected with the fishermen. He's got the resources for bait. Yeah, he's going to be working hand in hand with those Tuna brothers on the No Tuna, No Chinga. They're actually currently helping us right now with some permits.
Great. And so you got a nice relationship going on because of Jay.
And this was a big deciding factor of having a Mexican captain, fishing their own waters. It's a big advantage. Jay's going to be running the boat. We got some candidates for crew.
It's going to be a fun adventure,
Yes, absolutely.
It's going to be a great adventure, Chris. Yeah, right. You look, as I look at you, you look excited about this.
I'm very excited. I fished it a couple times.
Yeah, you can ask him about the fishing, how it's done. He's got the experience, obviously. He fished with those Tuna brothers, a nice yacht. So he's got the experience as far as the tackle. So that's where his knowledge comes in.
And what we're looking for as a passenger.
Yeah.
Because I've been on boats up there, and I kind of know what, the experience of how to have a good time.
Well, let's segue into that in just one more second, though. But Jay Cruz,
yes.
I don't know him.
Jay.
I haven't met him, but I know the first thing, who was it? Israel de la Cruz. He's a friend of mine.
Okay.
Great guy. He supports us in everything we do. And Israel said, "Hey, is Jay Cruz going to be involved in this? Because if he is, I'm booking a trip right now." So he has a great reputation.
Yes,
I can see.
yes.
He does.
And I trust Israel. So.
Oh, absolutely. He ran the Apollo. I'm not too sure who else was running the boat with him. I believe Alex, and he's now in the Royal Star, I believe. But Jay was the main captain because he knows the waters. I mean, he had a Ponga for many years, and he had opportunity to work for Jody Morgan, and he kind of stepped it up, and they realized really quick, like, hey, we need this guy behind the helm. He's got that capability, and he's a killer when it comes down to that big tuna. Like he's going to produce. He knows the conditions. He knows where to get the bait, and he's a master of flying the kite and the balloon. Again, that's where my partner here he can emphasize on that. But Jay's a killer when it comes down to that big tuna, and he's currently on the Apollo. He's probably got another month or so, and he's going to help us get the boat ready and take her down and get this rig, ready to kick some butt.
I might even ride on down with you. Who knows, man?
Hey, there's a lot of good fishing between
here
and
Puerto
Vallarta.
Plenty of room.
I believe Cedars is on the way down along with the Ridge. So we currently have a small bait tank, but we'll load up the slammer and what little bit of bait we can put in the bait tank, and we'll hopefully take about 30 scoops of bait down towards that ridge and have some fun.
Oh my God! I just talked to Sean Morgan. I don't know if you know him. He's an old captain from around here, and he's on the ridge this morning. Actually, he's on Todos Santos, but he was on the ridge yesterday. He had a 91-pound wahoo.
Wow.
He said it's so stupid. He goes, these guys put 4 jigs in the water, and I put the boat in gear, and we got 4 Dorado. He goes, I'm just like to the point where pull those freaking jigs out of the water for a little while.
Yeah.
So we got to get to Cabo here.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was so full speed. And then this morning, first thing, he said, hey, good morning. Oh, shit, we just lost a marlin, and so the marlin bite on that ridge during this time of the year can be silly.
Absolutely.
So it really, it sounds good. I might have to make that trip with you. And we have something else going on where we may deliver some clothing to Cedros Island, which I thank you guys so much for helping us there. We've been collecting clothing all year. We were trying to decide where to give it out. Tijuana, Tecate, it could be Ensenada. But Cedros had some problems during the hurricane. Diego Nuna, who works on the Royal Star, was born on the island, so he's advocating for it, and I love Diego. Going to meet him Saturday at Bass Pro Shops. And so it's I think we're leaning toward that. You guys have offered.
Absolutely.
We may take you up
We're
on that,
happy
man.
to help any way we can.
Thank you. I think it'd be
Absolutely.
great. All right, Chris, talk to us a little bit about what a fishing trip is like down there. And do I have to bring my own gear? Are you guys going to have gear on the boat, or what's the deal?
I mean, if you're a gear tackle guy, we don't mind you bringing your own gear, but if you're a guy that doesn't want to deal with gear, we're going to have plenty of gear.
Oh my God, this thing is tailor-made for me.
Yeah. You don't have to deal with gear. We're going to have the gear ready to go. We're going to, hopefully hook and hand some fish for you guys. There's a couple rock piles over there too. So, I mean, we'll be seeing some grouper, all kinds of big fish. We can mix it up, It's really fun over there. I've been there a couple times. I'll share some pictures with you. Maybe
Please.
to post them.
Heck yeah. We'll put them in this video.
Absolutely.
It's hard to describe right now, but it's a dream come true over there, And for Jay, it's a dream come true for him to own a boat over there. The first time I talked to him, he's like, dude, it's gonna be a fun adventure.
He wants to quit today. But like, no, we need you in the Apollo here. Finish up the season, bud.
Yeah, really.
He's ready to go.
He's really excited about it.
Absolutely.
I don't blame him.
Absolutely.
So the focus is going to be on giant yellowfin tuna, right?
Well, obviously, we want to run those 3.5 days. We're going to be working with the Suna brothers. Obviously, Jay knows them. Our focus will be the 3.5 day trips. But if you have a group that wants to just strictly fish Pargo and the smaller yellowfin Dorado, like a day trip, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're gearing for an 8-man charter. But again, if you have a group of 10 and you want to go catch some Pargo and some groupers and Dorado, a day trip, as long as our schedule allows it, absolutely. We'll mix it up, So if we have any openings, we'll definitely let everybody know what dates are available for local fishing.
Why don't you hit your number? Is that the number we're using?
Yeah, we could probably use Chris's. Chris, you want to give your number? We'll give out both.
Yeah,
okay. I can give out my number.
Go ahead. What is it?
310-980-9817.
Okay.
And you guys can text me, call me anytime if you guys want a little bit of more information about the trip, about the boat schedule. We are working as fast as possible to get it ready. I'm talking about just today. We were just down here.
Met with the carpenter
on getting the
galley
upgrades set up. So we're working as fast as possible.
I get that. Your phone number?
801-913-9619.
Okay. And I imagine you guys, are you like me? You want to text?
Absolutely.
Text is better,
text
right? I don't answer phone calls that I don't know.
Here in a few weeks when we get the boat down here, things are rolling. We'll get a number specific for the boat, and Chris will man that phone, and we can obviously answer it and be a little more professional on that end.
I want to get back to the fishing in a second, but just stream of consciousness just popped into my head. Food. Are we going to have some good Mexican cuisine on there, or at all? Are we can I get a plate of chile rellenos and arroz y frijoles?
Unless the group is specific and they want to do like a tri-tip New York, there's a Costco there, which is a big plus. We can shop. But yeah, our focus in the galley is going to have a Mexican chef doing some huevos rancheros, chilaquiles, chorizo and eggs.
Gloria al Señor.
Lunch. We can do tortas, chile rellenos, taquitos, and dinner. Obviously, we can go all out. But I think it's going to be really good food. We got to redo the galley. Again, the boat's set up on a day book basis, and we're going to put a small oven, a grill, kind of like we have on some of our sport boats. But we also want to make it comfortable. Our galley section is going to be more of a kickback, take your boots off and kind of chill, more like a lounger style galley instead of
bitching, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, and a novice angler, would you recommend, hey, this is too much for you, or we'll show you how to do it, don't worry about it, come on board, let us teach you?
It's Puerto Vallarta, 76-degree water.
Yeah.
We don't have rough water, so that's not even going to be an issue.
Yeah.
But absolutely, bring it.
Yeah.
Sometimes all they have to do is turn the handle,
Right. And there's
With
somebody
us.
there coaching them. I'm sure you're going to,
absolutely.
Jay's that kind of a guy, right?
Yeah, we'll have a cook and 2 deckhands. Absolutely.
Man, that sounds so good. So are we kite fishing, or how are we fishing the yellowfin?
Balloon fishing,
Yeah.
caballitos, and then you have the skipjack, live skipjack. We did troll, so I mean, we caught some wahoo too on the troll, some dorado. But for the yellowfin, the technique that worked the most was the caballito on the balloon, or live squid. So when we get to the destination, we start putting the lights out and try to get some nice sized squid, and we'll put it on the balloon, and you'll see them splash out.
Wow, that is bitching. How about chunking? Do you guys chunk down there in that neck of the woods for yellowfin?
I did not see them chunk when I went over there. Yeah, I've been over there 2 times. Both trips were like 3 days. I have a little bit of an idea of how to fish it already over there. But
how about the nocturnal bite? The nighttime bite is great usually on yellowfin.
I don't have experience on that, but Jay can answer that when we get him over here.
I know Eddie Leland, so Eddie's going through this cancer thing, unfortunately.
Hang in there, Eddie.
Yep. When I told him about this, because I go over there 3 times a week at least, drive him crazy. And so he friggin' is so excited. This might get him over the cancer thing.
Man,
because
that'd be
he's
great.
just so excited about Puerto Vallarta and loves it. And I go, hey, Ricky Carbajal, man, and now I can talk about you, Chris. And, shoot, I've known Ricky for 500 years. I had hair when I knew him. Honest to God, swear to God, I did, And,
He's old school for sure.
And so he's like really excited about it. He's been down there and he says it doesn't get any better. In fact, he's fished everywhere. Everywhere. He's a captain too. And I don't think I've heard him rave about a place or a destination more than I heard him rave about Puerto Vallarta. It sounds fantastic.
It's so good over there. I mean, if we can, when I went over there, we had the thing. We had something where we can bring our fish, and after you offload your fish in a local restaurant will pick up the fish, and around dinner time they'll invite you. Hey, we're gonna cook the catch for you.
That doesn't go on in this country.
Yeah.
You don't see that, right?
A couple big margaritas, some lobster in the mix. We're gonna try to set that up too after the trip if they're willing to stay longer, for another day.
You guys both speak. Well, you speak Spanish. Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I speak.
I'm very disappointed that you do, because I could say, hey, I'll come down and translate for you.
That's another deciding factor is, obviously both Mexican and our families from Jalisco, and being able to build some relationship with the locals. That's what me and Chris would want to do, is build some relationships with the local restaurants, maybe even try to find a processor that'll process the fish.
I was going to ask you about that. Where I was going to segue into that. What do you do with your fish? You guys process it on the boat?
Yeah, we'll fillet them on the boat. The way it is right now, you can bring back 50 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's just like any other country. Like when me and Jeff and the boys went to Costa Rica, we obviously paid an additional fee to bring back. I brought back about 100 pounds, and I think Costa Rica charged me like $100 extra for the bag.
That's not bad.
But for the most part, everybody takes their 50 pounds, and there's quite a bit of guys that will travel light, and they'll bring back 150 pounds. Of course, whatever airline, you obviously have to do your homework and see what you're allowed to bring back or how much extra. But our goal is, again, to be able to go down there and meet with some of the locals and maybe even get somebody to start a little processing gig for,
I bet that would be
customers.
hard to do.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. That way the fish are maintained and they come back as a quality sushi grade tuna. The last thing we want is having guys spend all this money and come back and chunks of big tuna in grocery bags. That we don't want.
Yeah.
So we got some homework that we got to do ourselves. And again, establishing some good relationship with some of the locals is going to be a big plus and make it easier. more appealing to our customer base.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus you just have, when you're dealing with the community that way and you have all those friends, it's just, then it's a nice thing where
It's a win-win.
there's a whole bunch of people helping one
absolutely.
another, right? They're helping you,
Yep,
you're helping them.
absolutely.
We donate a lot of fish, when we go fishing.
Yeah.
They would appreciate it too.
Heck yeah.
Nothing goes to
Absolutely.
waste.
Right. I talk about it a lot, but there's no safety net in Mexico. So once you get into that poverty situation, it's hard to get out of it, number one, and there's nobody to help you.
Yeah.
No.
So if you guys are down there doing stuff like that, it's great.
Absolutely. Find a local orphanage that we could maybe
Absolutely.
donate some fish. It's a good cause.
Absolutely.
We don't need to take it to the market and sell. We're not there to make any money off the fish. We're there for a good time, and if we can help a few people along the way and they show us some love, that's what we want to do.
Beautiful. I think that's great. We had 1 million views today, boys. So
Congratulations,
thank
man.
you,
Awesome.
man. I can't believe it. You know what that means?
What is it?
People out there have no taste at all. They're watching my show.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we're gonna have a celebration right here at 22nd Street Landing.
Absolutely.
Are you guys gonna be here?
That's a goal.
I would try to make it for sure.
Don't give me this try.
So-
You got to be with or without. Well, we'll talk about the possibility of the boat, but people can come here and talk to you and maybe put their name on a list or whatever.
Our goal is to
Oh,
have
you're
the
up
boat here.
you're in Salt Lake City.
Well,
So
our goal is to have the boat here. The boat is currently in Westport, Washington.
Yeah.
Just waiting on some documentation and the weather. Chris looked up the weather. There's one day it's blowing like 40 or 35, on the outside. So we don't want no part of that. Even though it's a delta, we don't want part of that.
Yeah, who needs
but
that?
the plan is to have the boat here and have everybody come on board, and we're open for some suggestions. I'm sure there'll be plenty of guys that have fished Puerto Vallarta, and if you can give us a little input on what you'd like to see on the boat, we'll definitely consider it.
So wait a minute. Am I hearing an open house on the boat? And by the way, it's not the boat. It's El Patron, right?
Patron.
El Patron. Yeah. Are we going to have... Chris, I'm putting the pressure on you. Get that damn boat down here from Washington. Kidding you.
I mean, we're going to bring it down here. Like I'm telling you, we're working as fast as possible.
I got you. I got you.
Weather permitting.
Yes. So the answer, our goal is to have it here, have an open house.
Wow.
We'll have a little cooler with some drinks.
Show off the boat.
Show off the boat.
I think that's fabulous.
Yeah,
Man, that'll make our day even that much more special.
Absolutely.
Because, I
That's our
mean,
goal.
by that time, people will have seen this podcast.
Yes.
And they're going to want to know more about this. I know they
Absolutely.
are. And now they can come down and actually walk on the boat and have a snack or a drink or something.
Absolutely.
And, man, I'm all over that.
Absolutely.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. If you had to guess, and this is tough, I know you're working as hard as you can, when would the boat be operational? What's your dream to have it operational in Puerto Vallarta by, I'm guessing, March maybe or something? Or before that? Or hard to say.
I don't,
it's really hard
I
to
don't
say.
have much experience about, fixing up, how long it takes to fix up a boat.
Yeah,
But
you do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're bringing it to San Pedro. We got some great carpenters here. So, first and foremost, we're going to put an RSW in the boat, freshwater making system. We're upgrading the generator, redoing the bunker, redoing the galley. And we're probably extending the house to be able to accommodate our crew so we don't have to mingle with the passengers, just keep the crew. Most of the time they're low on the stinky side, right? Keep them up top. But our goal with all the upgrades, we're hoping realistically mid February, I must say. And I know fishing is phenomenal January, February, March,
Right.
April. Yeah. So as soon as we get there and we have some books lined up, I think we're in for a treat.
Wow.
But I'm thinking realistically with the way labor is here in Southern California and the availability on parts, I think we're honestly like 3 months out.
That's great.
We don't want to put no high hopes, and we certainly don't want to take any charters yet until we get to that point. But when we get close, and we're going to share this on our Instagram, Chris runs the Instagram, we'll keep updating pictures, and as we get closer, we can move forward to hopefully book in our first trip.
There is one downside to doing your stuff here at 22nd Street. Have you seen the manager of this place? Kind of a red big beard.
Yeah, his name is Mike, I believe.
Mike, he looks
he's
kind of like a
mean.
homeless guy.
Yeah, he's
he
kinda
can
mean.
be a real.
Yes.
I don't want to say it because it's a family show. But
That's right.
kidding, you know that. Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here
Yeah.
because I'll see you all the time. and-
Absolutely. I was, thanks to Paisano and Jessup and Mike for allowing us to bring the boat. This will be our home for hopefully a couple months.
Thanks to Paisano and Mark and all those
Absolutely.
guys, I got a studio
Absolutely.
right here
Yes,
too.
exactly.
So yeah,
it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
They've been lifelong friends of mine, and I obviously called them and said, "Sure, open arms, we'll make room for you."
that's
Absolutely.
great. You know who else is coming to our October 23rd day?
Who's that?
Desiree Rodriguez.
Oh wow!
You know who that is? I don't know,
yes,
Chris.
I do.
She's the 9-year-old girl. This is 36 years ago, who Mark and Paul rescued. And I wasn't going. It's not that I didn't want to invite her. I just don't want to exploit her. You know, it's such a. She said I wouldn't miss it. She reached out to me. She said I tried to make your podcast at Bass Pro Shops, and but I will be there.
Wow.
And so, I mean, who wouldn't want to get a photo with her or just shake her hands or give her a hug? Or she's been such an inspiration to so many people, including yours truly.
Absolutely.
That I get a shiver up my spine thinking that she's going to be here.
Her story should be told and heard, you know, amongst every fisherman and pretty much anybody. What a remarkable
Now
second.
I do know
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just, I mean, I get chills just thinking about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Me too. I'm getting them right
it could be
now.
us, you know.
There was a soldier at Camp Pendleton who wrote on our YouTube channel. I'm going to screw this up, but I think I got kind of that when he went to Pendleton many years ago.
Yeah.
The guy, the CO or whoever it was, that's the story he told them about.
Wow.
He told them about that story and how they have to be careful at sea and the ocean is unforgiving and the whole thing. And then he said, I watched that podcast.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that all came together.
Yeah.
It was so emotional for me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Remarkable.
I mean,
You gotta respect the ocean, the water. I do a little bit of my part. Try to clean the ocean the most I can. If I see a balloon out there, respect the ocean.
absolutely, absolutely.
100%.
So you're going to drive the boat down from Washington. How long of a trip is that to here?
I'm thinking like around 5 to 6 days, depending on the weather, and
Yeah.
we are gonna have to fuel up most.
I brought the New Del Mar down from the Puget Sound, and it took us about 12 hours from pretty much Seattle to get out to the open ocean, and it was 105 hours on the New Del Mar, but we had enough fuel.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
was
you
the
didn't have to
springtime.
stop?
No.
Yeah.
No. We carried 1,000 gallons plus Rick put on about additional 500 gallons, but it was a 105-mile trek from Seattle.
105 hour?
105 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it was like 5 days.
Yeah.
Brian Brunel was on the boat.
He was?
Jeremy Maltz, Jeff Spence, Rick.
Well, you guys had a big party then, huh?
Yeah, we stopped and we fished outside Oregon. Of course, none of us had fishing license, so Rick didn't want to fish because he didn't have a license, but that's because he's a terrible fisherman.
He didn't
That was his excuse.
That's me. That's why I
Yeah.
grabbed the video camera all the
Yeah.
time. Well, I'd fish with you guys, but I
Yeah.
got to shoot this video.
Well, now you can buy your fishing license online
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah,
on your
right?
phone.
Yeah.
I know.
I've done
Yeah,
that
here
so
they
many
go.
times. I'm like, last
Yeah.
minute, let
Yeah.
me buy it.
Totally.
It's unfortunate that we're up against time because when we're up in Washington 3 weeks ago, the albacore fishing up there is unbelievable.
God, I know.
I mean, good guys, like every boat 100 plus.
Wow.
Like good. They weren't big fish. They were 12 to 18 pounds, but
Still.
6 guys come back to 100 fish by 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh,
They
man.
were seeing Dorado up there.
Dorado.
I heard
So,
that.
if you're traveling down, I'm sure you'll stumble
Yeah.
with a couple.
What is going on with the Dorado?
No.
Do you get it?
It's wild. They caught us some sort of sailfish up there in Westport over the weekend.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
unbelievable.
Morgan said he has never. He's on the ridge and down. Uncle Sam, he went out there and he said it's just like the '90s. He goes, "There's something weird with Dorado going on. They're just everywhere,
Yeah.
and they grow so fast
Yeah.
and they multiply so fast.
Oh, yeah.
That, man, that fishery seems like it's beyond good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And-
You guys catch Dorado out of Puerto Vallarta, I'm
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're catching them right now as we speak. A lot of them, but it's a good thing for the fleet around here. They
Yeah.
need it. They need
Yeah.
it.
They needed it.
Yeah, they do a lot of slow trolling with the caballitos and any kind of mackerel type of bait. But obviously with our boat, with the bait capacity and a sonar, we should be able to find some schools and chum them up and get them in the corner like we do here. That's our goal.
Oh,
we don't
my
want to
God.
fish like pongas because obviously we're set up a little different.
Yeah.
We want to use our sonar and find some schools and get them in the corner. That's our goal.
How much bait will you be able to carry?
We want to hold about 40 good passes
Bitchin'.
of the bigger bait.
And do they have a bait receiver down there, or do you have to make your own bait, or how's that work?
Jay's got the connection. These guys,
Yeah.
if they fish all night, they have big receivers. But that's something that
There's a panga out there,
Yeah.
jigging bait for you, and you buy. I think it's $1 a caballito.
Yeah.
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 Jay mentioned that perhaps we can maybe partner up with the Osuna brothers on the No Tuna No Chinga, where we actually hire a small little bait operation, and we make our own bait, so we're not at their mercy.
Yeah.
They'll be working for us.
That would be
Build a
bitching, right?
receiver. Yeah. In the future, maybe a small little seine boat. We can go out and catch our own bait and keep our own bait and receivers. That's the ultimate goal. But again, we have to go down there, build some relationship with some of these guys, and be in a position to barter with them and obviously make it work.
Yeah. And I imagine also the ultimate goal is to add another boat and have a fleet down there, man.
Absolutely.
If it allows it, yeah.
Absolutely. We just want a nice, clean American vessel that's seaworthy, is fast and comfortable. That's our goal.
How about the sonar and all that kind of stuff? You're not gonna spare any expense there.
No,
I
we're going
can
all
tell,
out.
right?
We're going all out. We were questioned by several people in this industry about overpaying for this boat and so on and so forth. But you're never going to find the right boat. And the right boats that are out there, they're working. They're not going to give up their boat in the middle of season. So
you were questioned, you don't have to say who, but you were questioned like, hey, you sure you're making a good decision here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey, you're overpaying.
You know how many
for this
times
boat.
you whenever you're starting something, you know how many times you hear that?
Yeah.
And you just put your frickin' nose down and work
That's right.
harder.
That's right.
And you come out the other side, and those guys are gone.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're,
And we all have something in common. We're doers,
Yeah.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're going to make it happen in Mexico, our parents' hometown.
Yeah, I mean, you got that,
Yeah.
not pressure, but that, that's a great way to pay tribute to your parents and your family.
Absolutely.
To go down there and
Absolutely.
kick butt with
Yeah,
an
that's a
operation
plan.
like that.
Yeah. And we passed on several boats. There were several boats. There were plywood boats, wooden boats, and that's just not the avenue we want to take.
Yeah.
It was either going to be an aluminum boat or a fiberglass boat. And those of you that know Deltas, they know the type of boats. It's just like the Pacific Dawn, the Outrider, the Ultra, to name a few. There's quite the Mr. Magoo,
The
Mr. Magoo,
the new Salmon Tail.
Oh,
It's
same.
a nice boat.
It's pretty much sister ship to this boat.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Now you give everybody a great
Yeah, we'll
reference.
share some pictures with you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we passed on several boats that, obviously were fitted with RSW air conditioning. But again, dealing with a monster boat with just overkill for what we want to do with 8 passengers.
Yeah.
And the maintenance in the long term with the plywood boat, a wood boat, plank boat, it just
Too
sucks
much.
you dry.
Yeah.
It sucks you dry.
What are the dimensions of the rig?
It's 50 by 16.
Oh, nice. Pretty beamy, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a very well maintained boat. Brian had it for 18 years, and he's going to commercial fishing. He was owner operator, but well maintained. You get on this boat, everything underneath the deck is 100% Coast Guard approved. Every nut and bolt is done to perfection.
Every maintenance he did or every upgrade he did, he said, I made it to make sure this boat lasts as long as I own it or whoever owns it. And it shows.
Yeah.
It definitely shows. It's
Hopefully
unbelievable.
everybody gets to see it here on the 23rd. Absolutely.
How's the bill fishing down there? It's good, I think, right? Isn't there blue marlin and sailfish?
We caught some.
You
We're
probably
out
don't.
there.
You guys don't focus on that, but every once in a while you catch
Yeah,
that,
it's more
right?
of a tourist fish.
Yeah.
No, we're going to be targeting the long range guys that fish down the lower part of Kabul. That's pretty much our clientele. I think the billfish is more of the touristy fish.
It pretty much is, yeah. And then, hey, you got to get
Yeah.
that mounted. Don't you dare leave
Yeah.
without spending another $2,000.
I think our group will be like, hey, just it's a marlin. Let's cut the line.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go with
know,
those 300
I know.
pounders. But obviously, if we have the group for it and they're up for it, sure, we're there for them. If that's what they want to do, we'll catch them a marlin.
Any idea in terms of what it's going to cost for someone to do this yet? Or if you haven't figured that out yet, just say you haven't figured it out. But do you have an idea or not?
We haven't figured it out yet, but I'm thinking around like a 3.5 day around what 23, 25.
Yeah, we want to keep it. We want to keep it reasonable.
Yeah.
We know there's obviously hotel accommodations and a flight, but yeah, we'll say 23 to 2,500, and that'll include your food, your tackle, some beers, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll have a cooler full of beers for the guys and
Yeah.
some soda pop and water for the non-drinkers. But Yeah, we're going to try to keep it affordable.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
That sounds great.
You know, it's a world class destination.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have a legitimate shot at landing a 300-pound yellowfin tuna. Where else can you do that now? Our long range fleet has been pretty much
Fishing St. Clemente Island.
unfortunately, we love those guys. You know, I mean, you know, we don't like seeing that, but you know, riding the wall was coming. You know, they had a great fishery for many years, and unfortunately, with the politics, it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And we're going to see more and more of these long range boats fishing side by side to the day boats, and in some cases next to the 3-quarter boats. It's unfortunate, but you know, it's a world class destination, Puerto Vallarta. Like you said, you can come down, make it a vacation. The family could stay at the resort, and you and the boys can go catch a 300-pounder.
Oh my God, that sounds like so much fun.
And I'm really happy that, you know, I had 2 of my buddies always invite me yearly. Come down, no pay, you know. My friend Steve Danziger, he lived over there. He had a house, he had a boat. I'm really happy he got me and my partner Dean Factor involved in going fishing there. Now it's like a year thing for us, and they're very excited too about the boat. They're like, hey, just get us on the boat, you know, and they're helping us out with the design.
And you 2 guys are going to end up moving down.
Yeah,
there.
that's a goal.
That's really?
A goal. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in a position, you know, obviously we get some weather in Salt Lake and be able to have a residency in Mexico. I'm working on getting my dual citizenship so I can actually purchase a place down there.
Do you have help on that, by the way? I have somebody who can help you on that.
I need help too. Give me that number.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll help you out.
Yeah, both my mom and dad were obviously born in Mexico, so I think that makes the process a little easier. But it's an advantage to having that with you know, any kind of business or real estate.
I'll reach out to Alejandra and see.
Absolutely.
She was at the Mexican consulate in Los Angeles for many years, and that's what she did.
Awesome.
She's not there now, but
That'd
I'm
be
sure
great.
she's still plugged into all of that. She's a super great person.
Definitely.
Maybe I get her here on the 23rd.
It's
Get her
the
down
easiest thing to get on these boats. It's really not that hard. All you do is book a trip, fly in, we'll have someone pick you up, and get on the boat.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a big process, nothing like that.
Yeah, it's easy.
quick.
Yeah. What's a flight from LA to Puerto Vallarta?
I think if you book it in time, 350, 300.
I mean, by time to fly to
Oh,
Puerto
it's
Vallarta?
two
Yeah, it's
and
cheap.
a half
2.5
hours.
Yeah.
Guadalajara, from here to there, it's like, it's 2.5. It's like going to
You can
Guadalajara.
now. I don't know. A lot of people may not want to do this, but TJ's. You know, you park your car on the U.S. side, walk across the bridge. You're in the airport, and it's cheap.
Especially if you're going down without tackle. You're
Yeah.
going with a duffel bag
Right.
or
So
a
easy.
suitcase. Yeah, it's a piece of cake, and you guys here live so close to the the border. That's something to think about too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it makes it even cheaper, and plus, you're in Mexico
You're in
even
Mexico.
earlier.
Exactly.
That's
You
how I
don't have
feel.
to rent a rod. You know, we're gonna have some. You know, these rods are gonna be
Yeah.
kind of pricey. You know, you don't have to rent none of that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have it ready for
And
you guys.
It's included in the price.
Good gear,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's good
We're
gear.
going to have the super heavy gear, and we're going to have some 40 to 60 pound outfit. And that's something I want to share with the viewers. If there's any specific tackle that you guys would like to see on the boat, right now we're open. We've reached out to a couple people, not so much sponsors. You know, we're not looking for handouts. Obviously, if somebody wants to sponsor the boat, we will take it. We'll gladly.
Yeah.
Yep, there's one right there. Absolutely.
But whoever's,
Daiwa.
Exactly.
How can you get better gear than Daiwa?
Exactly.
Come on, pump it up, boy.
Yeah.
No, we're good with that.
We're
Yeah.
open to anything and any tackle recommendations.
Yeah,
for
we're
sure. We'll,
absolutely.
Well, I mean, and that can be part of the October 23rd thing if it comes together.
Sure,
People
yeah.
come down on the boat and say, hey, I'd really like to, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, there's so many choices, rods and reels. And if guys like a certain rod, I won't mention any now, but if there's somebody that wants to step up and sponsor or work something out, that's we'll gladly. But I want the feedback from the clientele as to what kind of tackle they'd like to see on the boat. As far as reels, as far as rods, because we have a pretty good selection now. It wasn't like that years ago.
Right.
What did we have back in the old days?
I remember we were just fishing.
Saber,
right.
Saber and some old true lines that would not work for this type of fishery, right? But
Yeah.
now there's so many rail rods. We just had a 2.5 day on the Amigo this past weekend or 2 weeks ago, and we went to Save on Tackle, and I was blown away by the amount of name brands. They all look great, but
Yeah.
I'm sure some work better than the others. Price tags varied from $700 to $400, but we want to get the input as to what the guys would like to see for kite rods, rail rods, what brands, and if we get enough feedback that we can say, hey, this is a brand we want to go because this is what the guys want to fish with, then we'll go that direction. We're not going to spare, we won't spare anything. We want top-notch gear on the boat for everybody.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Absolutely.
Chris, you got to be super excited. This is starting to come together.
He's ready to
here,
go.
man. I can see this guy.
It's an adventure, you know. We're gonna have so much fun at the same time. We're gonna invite a lot of friends. We already decided, you know, a couple trips are for us, you know, and friends. So we're gonna do that too.
God, I wish I was still your friend. Of course,
ready?
I got my passport. I've been living in China and I'll run it all around the
You're
world.
invited. You're gonna come take some video and show everybody what it's all about.
I'm in. I'm thinking also once you guys get operating down there, we do at least a weekly video update that I can put on the morning briefing or whatever it is we're doing, and then. Or just dedicate a whole thing. Here's Puerto Vallarta. Here's your weekly update from Puerto Vallarta.
Yeah.
Jay can do it, or one of you guys if you're down there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
it should be
good.
Yeah, it should be great. Hey, just a little nostalgia. We're talking about Patrick fishing in a diaper with you.
Yeah.
What boat were we on?
That was in the old Del Mar.
It was, right?
On the old Del Mar, yep.
And we went up to, where did we go? To Point Doom?
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of bait in. If you remember that old boat, the bait kind of got divided with like a board.
Yeah.
And we were down on bait. We were anchored on there on the reef there at BKR, and we were pretty much out of bait. I think we had caught a few small little yellows and calico bass. And I asked him, hey, there's some Dorado and yellows on the kelps.
Was this an El Nino year?
Yeah.
Must have been.
Yeah. So we kind of started heading
I said, hell yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And no more than like 3 miles out, there's just a foamer, a yellowfin tuna. I mean, you know, we've never seen yellowfin. I thought it was bonita.
Yeah.
But they were, you know, a nice little football
Perfect
yellowfin.
size.
Yeah.
So we get up there, and here we're on the Del Mar, old 671, doing about 6.5 knots, and trying to get there. And finally, I think we hooked a couple.
Yeah.
Remember Foamer? We call him Foamer. He was one of the regulars. He cast it out, and he got bit, and his jig turned around, caught the line, and he was getting bumped, but his hook was in the wrong position. Yeah. He's like, ow, ow, ow. So anyhow, he'd land one, and one of the boys cast it out of one of the last few sardines, and he hooked it, and we landed like a 22-pound.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that was so cool. I mean, on the way in, it took us like 3 hours to get in, and we're just like petting this like 22-pound yellowfin, like, oh my God.
I can't believe we actually have this thing.
I'll have to find that picture. I think I shared it with you.
You may have. Yeah,
I'd like to put it up.
Philip just gave a seminar at Bass Pro, so I used a picture of you and him because he was talking about when he was a kid with a yellowtail. Yeah. And it might have been that day. Yeah. Might have been that day.
If you recall, that year the yellows were small. They weren't like this last. They were small. They were 8 pounds, 10 pounds, but still, it was pretty good fishing.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can show it off now. I don't think you could have showed it off back then. There was no social media, none of that.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I know the next day there was about 10 boats that went looking for that yellowfin, and of course they didn't find it, but it was out there.
It was there the day we went.
It was out there.
That's
it was
great.
Cool seeing that. Yeah.
Boys, I don't know. Anything else that we need to say about the operation of the boat? Have we covered everything?
No, I mean,
is there anything you want to say?
Just follow us. I mean,
what's your social?
El Patron Sportfishing PV on Instagram. We are gonna make a Facebook. Just follow us on Instagram for right now. We're gonna keep updating and show you a little bit about what it is to fish up there. You know, you're gonna start seeing some pictures of Captain Jay with passengers when he was running the Apollo and what kind of what catches, you know, he's been.
How about we do a boat tour on camera when the boat gets down here? We'll do that. We'll put that out there. Anything either one of you two want to say to Andrew Green? Andrew Green, I don't know who he is, but
great name.
We came up with El Patron. You want to?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you're a winner. We do have some crazy, nice swag on the work for you, man. It's coming.
He's excited.
Just give us a little bit of time. You know, we're getting all the info and a lot of good gear, swags coming to you.
Yeah, definitely.
He's really excited.
Yeah, thank you. There were some other great names.
There was.
So many,
I don't know if I told you, we wanted to name it, it's Sea Angel, so we wanted to just put it in Spanish, Ángel del Mar. That would have been a nice name too.
Yeah.
There were so many good names.
There was
El Rey was a good
El Rey. Yeah, I saw a whole bunch, man. There were some funny ones in there.
Yeah,
actually.
There were some funny ones. So.
It was great. It was
thanks to everybody who took the time out to put in their name, and obviously we went with El Patron.
Thank you for doing that for us, Philip.
No, hey, that was fun. I mean, that brought. I mean, every time we get comments on our YouTube channel, that helps us also. So that was one of those win-win deals
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
man.
Helped us
But
out.
to be honest, I didn't envision that kind of response. It was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, there was a couple people actually called me on a personal and say, "Hey, this is what you should name it." So all right, I'll put it on the list. You know, we got together over dinner with our wives, and sure enough, El Patron it is.
El Patron. All right.
It's a big deal.
Why don't you boys give your numbers one more time again so people can text you at 2 o'clock in the morning about El Patron?
I mean, I already get those already, but it is.
I hope your wife does.
310.
I hope your wife doesn't see them.
She's all right. She knows what's going on. 310-980-9817.
And my phone number is the Salt Lake City number is 801-913-9619. And in time we'll have a website. Chris will be in charge of that. We'll get that going. And any questions, feel free to call us. And we look forward to meeting everybody on the 23rd and hopefully have El Patron here so we can get everybody a tour and take a look at what they're going to be fishing on.
Ricky, great to see you, my
Nice to
friend.
be here.
It's
Good
been
to see
way
you,
too
Phil.
long. Chris, pleasure to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Philip.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. All right, El Patron out of Puerto Vallarta. It's an ongoing story. We'll keep you in touch with it. Thanks for joining us for this very special edition of the Friedman Adventures podcast. We'll see you again really, really soon.